Welcome again to a Two-Tall-Toby practice model. This one is dated 7/1/2024. It's a chair bracket. Fairly simple model, just consists of a rectangle, a slot feature, and a rib feature. We have some overall dimensions of 30, 39, and a width of 42 here. So we'll build that as our base rectangle, then we'll make a cutout, and then we'll add our slot and our rib. So let's go ahead and hop over into IronCAD and show you how this is done. So we'll start again with an extrude inside of here, and we'll just set the depth on this to be 30 for that. And our width is this on this guy is 42, and our height is 39 for this model. So a very simple way to start off with the overall dimensions, and then we can drag and drop a cut extrude here on this front corner point. And I'm just going to use my handles to snap to these edges here. So you can see I'm grabbing this top handle, holding my shift key to snap that, and I can pull this all the way back to the back point. And we know that distance there is an offset of 10, so we can just take the overall value, move our cursor over, minus 10 for that. And we'll do the same to the bottom. So the bottom has an offset of 13, so we'll just snap to the bottom, move it over, minus 13, and we'll get that value, and we can just simply pull that through to the other side. So that gives us our initial cut operation for this model. Next, we want to go ahead and add our cut on the bottom here, so we'll go ahead and do an extrude cut down here, and we'll just place that, and we'll grab this bottom handle here. If you see now, I grab this bottom handle, I'm going to snap to the bottom, because we know the width or the height of that cut is 8, and we know the width of this is 32. I believe this, no, yeah, 32 for that, so we'll go ahead and set that as well. And then we'll drop it on a slot feature, and I'm going to drop it right here on this center point. And notice if I'm facing this orientation where this is most of the area that I see, it extrudes up. If I rotate a tad bit there, so that if I drop on a point, it'll do the most face area that you see. So now when I drop this, it'll actually come towards me. So that's what I want in this case. And we know the height of this value for this slot is 13 to centers plus the radius is 7, so plus 14 on that to give that side. And then our width on this is going to be the 14 for that. So now we can position this inside of here. I'm just going to use the tri-ball, and I'm going to hit the space bar, move it up to this top arc, holding the shift key down. And I know from the top of center point, from the center point, I know the top distance from here is actually set to 18. So I'm going to move it to there, and then I can just pull this handle all the way out to the front side. Now we had to do the inner hole. We can actually add another cut slot onto this, or we can actually just go into the IntelliShape surface reshaping, and we can actually add a shell to this, and we know the thickness on that is 3mm thickness, and hit apply to do that. Now one thing we notice that it doesn't go all the way through the part because it's only on this feature. So to get it to go through all that geometry, just grab your original cylinder and grab that back handle and snap it back to the back edge. Now that it's there, it'll cut through all that geometry. So very easy way to do that and get that cylinder all the way to the back side as well. Next, we'll go ahead and add our rib feature here. So we'll go ahead and go to our shapes catalog, drag and drop the rib right onto the center point inside of there. And we can pull this up a little bit and move these handles around here to some values. So we can just put it somewhere along in here and move this out. So all we know is we know this angle from here, and we know the height of this is just 2mm from the top. So we'll just take this handle, move it up to the top, subtract 2mm from that to give us our location for that. And we also know the width of this is going to be, let me double check, that's a 3mm on that. So we'll just go ahead and select that. That's a 3mm there. Now we can go ahead and edit the cross section of this by right clicking on that, and we have our cross section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this bottom line here because we don't want that to move. And then we just put an angle constraint here, which we have a value of 62 for that. And it really doesn't matter this angle because we just need to make sure that it's inside this geometry. This angle doesn't matter, so we'll just leave it like that and go ahead and extrude that out. So that gives us our rib feature. Again, if we want to see that angle, we can select those two edges to verify down here at the bottom of our status bar. 62 degrees is that angle. So that's what we wanted for that shape. And now all we need to do is go back to our starter catalog, drag and drop our extrude cut on that top point. And again, the depth of this, we can just, again, align these to the back here. And we know the depth of this is 5mm. And we know the width of this is 32. So we can right click and pull that and actually just snap to this point because this one's 32 as well. So we can see that one's 32. This one is actually 32 as well if we look at that value. So it's just referencing the opposite point, so you can see that value is 32 as well. So that's how you can build this model, fairly easy inside of here. If we go over to our properties, it has a mass density of 2700. If we tab out of there, that should give us a mass of 45.193 inside of there. So there you go. That's how you can build this model in IronCAD, fairly easy to do. You can have Smart Paint Color to color that if you like. Nothing too complex on this model, so hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.